So the question is, freedom now takes on a new meaning. It's about responsibility. So how many humans are willing to be responsible for their own lives? Not many. Not many. How many rely on their government to do their work for them? In other words, to make sure that they have just barely enough food, just barely good enough roads to travel on. But a big military, that's important. That was a joke. Somebody reading this actually believing that. So how many are ready to take on the responsibility for their health? For their health. And the question is, are you ready? Are you ready? Mostly yes, but there's still doubt. There's still doubt. But whether you go to a doctor or do it with standard technology is the same. You're taking responsibility. It is your body. And it is your body. But yet so many humans don't believe that. So many humans then demand from somebody else that it be taken care of. Responsibility means that, well, you stop blaming your parents. You educate yourself. One of the problems with education right now is the responsibility is turned over to something else. And humans don't know how to educate themselves anymore. The parents blame the schools, but the parents should look at themselves and their sons and daughters. Humans are not taking responsibility for their abundance. They get mad at the government and say, we should have more bread. Then go out and grow it and bake it. Or get yourself weaned off of the need to have to eat food or as much food. So it's an excellent question or excellent answer, responsibility. The one that intrigues me is the responsibility for perhaps the most important thing of all, and it's your spirit. Oftentimes it's turned over to a priest or a rabbi or a church or a temple. It's turned over to a mosque or anything else. Humans have forgotten how to take responsibility and feel their own spirit. And somebody says, well, it's written in this book, so there you have to follow it. You know, it's easy, it's easier, it's lazy, and it's not free. So I'm amazed that humans are calling out for freedom. Do they really know what they're calling out for? No. Do they want just a little bit more bread? Do they want just a little bit more pay at their job and a little bit more freedom to do human things? Absolutely. So I bring the question up again because this is monumental. And this is what's happening all across the world. It's happening in China. It's happening in India, in the Mideast, and right here, right in what you would call your more developed countries. But hardly you could call it a developed country anywhere if people are still, if they still have to go to a job, and if they have to derive their income by going to a job at a prescribed time. And now many of you here have become jobless. In other words, you've created your own jobs. And now you are free, but you work hard, but it is your passion and your choice. So as long as there's still this structure, there's really not freedom. So, and I say that because watch what happens next in the next few years. This wave of freedom is going to start going around the world. And it's going to start penetrating into areas that are pretty obvious. Countries with dictators, countries that are controlled politically. Next, it's going to create another circle and come around the earth like a whiplash into countries that have excessive and limited spiritual, religious beliefs and lack of true religious freedom. You know what that's like. Until recently, and even now, you are laughed at for your beliefs, and there's still an underlying fear that you're going to be persecuted for it. By your own family and friends, first of all, possibly by the government, possibly a knock on the door late one night, somebody saying, we've been following you, we've been watching you, come with us. And it's not going to happen, by the way, but there's still that underlying fear. Then it's going to continue going around the world, spinning and spinning this call to freedom, and it's going to start making people think about whether they really have freedom. Oh, it's going to mushroom. They're going to start looking at their jobs and if they really have freedom. They're going to start looking at their families. They're going to start looking at themselves, their aspects. That's perhaps one of the most difficult, and you've gotten there, but most humans have many lifetimes to go before they even begin to understand freedom from your aspects, freedom from your past, freedom from yourself.